All right, it is 12-time Bellator veteran Mike Richman, though these days making big waves in BKFC 3-0 there, 3 stoppages. Mike, I guess, man, talk to me about your adaptation to the sport because you're doing pretty damn good at it. What have you thought about the move to BKFC?
You know what it really tailors to my style. I mean, anyone that knows how I fight and knows my style of fighting from my days in MMA and obviously particularly a lot in Bellator, is I like to be in the pocket. I like to exchange my hands, and I'm very kind of calculated and accurate with my shots. So it was for me personally, it was a relatively easy transition. I don't want to come across saying being arrogant or whatnot, but it was just a smooth transition for me, to put it politely. It just really tailors to my game. Only really adjustment is a little bit of the distance, getting used to cracking of the bare knuckles, kind of that bone on bone contact. But I mean, you adapt to that really quickly.
Yeah, and the thing it seems like that I've been hearing over and over when talking to MMA veterans is that, and again, you want to say it's respectful way possible, but the training is like easier and better for the body, right? Because it's not all those grappling sessions, the wrestling, the jujitsu, where it seems like the most injuries really occur. And it seems to me that everybody I talk to that's coming over from MMA is saying, I think this can prolong my career. I think I can compete longer doing this.
You know what? You don't want to come across rude. You don't want to come across, arrogant about it. I love the sport of bare knuckle. But yeah, absolutely. A lot of wear and tear in your career, especially in your MMA career, happens in the gym, happens in here. All the grappling rounds, all the jujitsu rounds, all the live, all that live action. That's what wears you down. With bare knuckle, you got your 5 2-minute rounds. I'm not doubting, I'm not denying that you still got to get in here and put in some good training, good conditioning, good sparring. But I do truly believe it can elongate some of our careers. Me, I'm 37, and I'm still fighting at a high level when it comes to bare knuckle. And I'm not grinding I'm not doing 4 to 6 hour training sessions a day, like you would do at a high level, MMA career. I'm more on that 2 hour window now, and a lot of just kind of traditional boxing training with, I do a lot of heavy bag or mitts with just hand wraps on it because I don't want my skin getting all ripped up. Just to get used to that little extra little bit of space that is very important in bare knuckle. So yeah, I mean, short answers, it really does. It's been a smooth, easy transition, and I think if you're a good, talented striker and you're confident being in that pocket, it's a fun sport.
Well, you've certainly shown that you're confident in the pocket, man. Last time out, I thought especially, I mean, David Rickle's a guy that is a durable guy, man. I mean, we've seen him in both sports for a while, and you went out there and were pretty dominant over him. I guess talk to me about that result and kind of what you took out of that performance.
What was great about that performance is, um, I took a shot at, I took a couple shots from Rickles. My first two bare knuckle fights, I didn't really, at least in BKFC, I didn't really take a shot. And my other two bare knuckle fights, I didn't really take many clean shots. So Rickles was the first one that kind of, I overextended on a punch. He gave me a little counter, popped me in the cheek, and I'm like, all right, cool. And then it's time to go. So it's like showcasing my ability to not just be a front runner in this sport, to be able to take a shot, stay focused, and really execute my counter punches. That I take pride in when it comes to bare knuckle because I can be right in that danger area where I'm not worried about a single leg or dropping down or a double. I can kind of really sit down on my counters more, and I think I really got to showcase the full spectrum of my bare knuckle kind of fight style against Rickles, against a super tough opponent. And that was a really fun fight for me. It was a really enjoyable fight to. Obviously, they always had me going to someone's hometown and do it, but to do it against Rickles, and no bad blood between him and I. We talked in the past about, hey, if we ever fight each other in BKFC, hopefully it's for like something to go on to something bigger, and it was.
Absolutely. You're back in action on October 15th, BKFC 31, Isaac Doolittle, interim light heavyweight title on the line. So it did come with a big reward. I guess talk to me first about the stakes, but also the matchup itself. What are you thinking about this fight?
This fight, as far as Doolittle is concerned, is he's just one of those tough, gritty dudes. He's just kind of like that blue collar fighter where he's just gonna be in there. He's gonna stay in your face. He's gonna stay in the fight the whole way. So it's gonna be one of those things where can he handle my power and accuracy and speed and withstand that. And if he can, he's going to make me work for 5 rounds. And it's going to be it could be a legitimate battle or me putting him away early. So it's kind of, I think a lot of people really want to see, and I think the biggest talk against me is, all right, if you bring Mike in the third, fourth, fifth round, will he fade? He's gotten tired in the past in his MMA career. Will he get tired, in bare knuckle? Will he be able to maintain, punching power or whatnot? Those are all the things that, is been yet to see in my bare knuckle career. And he'd be the one guy to try to drag me out in there to do that. But I just think my talent, my skill set, I'm just really sharp right now in this sport. I just think I'm going to land on him effectively, and I think I will put him away. What's on? No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, well, you touched on it, right? Because that is the one. And then I wanted to. This fight's going to be at altitude as well, right? So I mean, have you had to take more of a an approach to addressing cardio, or do you feel like that's just maybe a concern that really doesn't even need to be there anymore?
You know what? I just tried to. I didn't want to make that a big thing in my head. We're like, oh man, I need to train in elevation. I need to run harder. I need to spar harder. I need to do this more. I just didn't want to get mentally fuck myself that way. People are like, why don't you get out to Denver? I'm like, I still have a career outside of fighting bare knuckle. I have a full-time job, family, and everything. So for me to just get up and leave 2 weeks prior and go train in Denver is just not possible for me to do that. So I've just been kind of taking my normal approach, man, just getting in here, sparring hard, putting in rounds. And I plan to execute. I know the elevation's a thing, and I know it's a legitimate thing, and I'm not discrediting that. I'm just not thinking about it because I'm trying not to, use that as some own mental mind fuck of myself. But yeah, it's just gonna go in there. I'm gonna execute my skill set, and I'm gonna put the pressure on him, and it's gonna be one of those things. Can he withstand my power? Can I withstand his pressure? I'm a pretty good pressure fighter myself. It's gonna be kind of like a Dakota Cochran Rickles type of mentality, but he's a little bit shorter than Dakota. He's a little slightly shorter than me, just super stocky and just kind of, like I said, jack of all trades, master of none. I don't want to. It's not me trying to talk shit about him. He doesn't do anything it's overly wowing factor, exciting in any aspect of his game. He just very Rocky Balboa-esque, just going to stay in your face, and that can be a tough opponent.
Yeah, should be a hell of a fight. I know I'm definitely looking forward to it. Now, of course, interim title. Lorenzo Hunt, not necessarily thrilled that there's an interim title on the line. Are you thinking about, what comes after that, a unification fight or what happens? I mean, are you considering any of that at all at this point?
You know what? I think that is what is really kind of motivating me even more, that kind of made me get out of bed for this fight was I don't want to overlook Doolittle. I don't. But to get there and put together a mega fight against Lorenzo, I just have a really hard time accepting the fact that this guy can go around thinking he's a 185-pound champion when he never even made weight for the fight, nor close to it. So it's just like he lives in this weird la-la land about it. And whatever, man. Like, it's exciting to know that him and I could be a really big mega fight for the company. I got to get through Doolittle. I was told that he had to vacate one of the 2 titles. I'm still waiting to hear word on that. Safe to say he's probably crying about that, and he doesn't want to vacate one of the titles. So I don't know, man. I was told that he was going to have to vacate the 85, and Doolittle and I would be for the official title, but I haven't heard any word on that yet. But I'm not fucking surprised. I'm just going to go in there, get past Doolittle, and I'm sure Lorenzo and I will meet somewhere down the road early next year for a huge fight. Now, whether we meet at 185, where you probably won't even make weight for it, or we'll meet at a different weight, I don't know. But it could be a big money fight for the company, for us, and finally kind of set aside any bullshit.
It's interesting. Lorenzo's a funny guy, man. On the one hand, he says he wants to move up to heavyweight and take that belt as well, but then he's saying, but don't give away my 85 belt because I deserve to keep that. So, yeah, I guess he's got some decisions to make moving forward. But hopefully we'll see a big fight between you guys at some point. But as you said, right now, task at hand with Isaac Doolittle. I guess last thing I'll ask you, Mike, what kind of fight do you see? Because as you said, he's a scrappy guy. Like you said, nothing maybe overwhelming, but durability's there. So are you expecting this, a long, drawn-out battle, or is this another fight that you get finished the way you've been doing it so far?
I see myself finishing him in the first 2 rounds again, maybe 3. I think I definitely use that first round to figure out my timing, distance, how he wants to enter, his entries, my entries, and then I can really dial it in and look for my kill shots. But I see another early finish. I don't think it's going to go the distance.
I love it, man. I love it. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to it again. BKFC 31, October 15th on the BKFC app. Best of luck to you, Mike. We'll be tuned in for sure.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it.